Why should we wait for a plate to come from China? People use plate every day. We wait for toothpick. We wait for matchsticks. We don't. It has always been. But why would you say I don't support colonialism and support colonial borders? That is hypocrisy. If you don't support apartheid, you don't support colonialism, you cannot support the invasion of everything that came with these people. The borders were imposed on us. We never had borders. And even without borders, we never encroached in each other's territory. We always knew that here is this kingdom, here is that kingdom. So it's unscientific to say when you do away with the borders, there's going to be an influx of foreigners in South Africa. We want you, people of Africa, if you want to go and trade in DRC, wake up this morning and just go to DRC and do whatever you want to do and come back without hassle. There must be free movement of people. There must be free movement of goods, and Africans must trade amongst themselves, because only through the unity of Africa will we earn our seat on the international table where real issues are being discussed. What will Swaziland go and tell China and say, no, Swaziland and China are equal on what? But once we bring the unity of Africa, both in terms of size of the population and the mineral resources combined, the world will listen to us. Okay. We command more than 85% of the world platinum, ourselves and Zimbabwe combined. Let's take Limpopo and Gauteng, for instance. Limpopo is much more poor than Gauteng, but the people have never left Limpopo to come to Gauteng. I come from Limpopo, and every time I get an opportunity, I go home. I've got no intention, none whatsoever, to relocate my home into Gauteng. So it's unscientific to say because people are poorer and we are in a much better, relatively stable situation, they are going to come here and destabilize us. No one wants to come here. So the bosses are white monopoly capital which owns the South African economy. Is the one that brings foreigners into the country, give them jobs because they are going to pay them lower wages. And then from there come to South Africans and say, these people are taking your jobs. And then they make us fight. But Sakina, since when have other Africans never worked in South Africa? Because this Johannesburg was founded by a Southern Africa, not South Africa. That's why the language Fanaka law exists. Because these people came from everywhere to come and mine this diamond that we're enjoying and gold we're enjoying today in Gauteng. So they met from Mozambique, they met from Malawi, they met from Zambia, Zimbabwe. They came together, they couldn't hear one another. They even developed a language called Fanagalo. EFF was not there when that was formed. So it's not true that this is something that is happening for the first time. It has always been. You must know that the day you take out chrome, put it in a truck and take it to Richards Bay, as it goes passing all places into Richards Bay, those are jobs that are going to be created in a particular country through beneficiation. So we need to beneficiate here in South Africa. We need to industrialize here in South Africa. We need to reopen all the factories that were created by Bantustan governments. In Seshiwu, in everywhere else, there are factories that have collapsed. Why do you open those factories? Those factories must produce the things that we use every day. Why should we wait for a plate to come from China? People use plate every day. We wait for toothpick. We wait for matchsticks. We don't produce matchsticks because this government has gone into trade agreements with other countries. Let's take Germany, for instance. Our trade agreements with Germany says we cannot manufacture a car. We will assemble the cars from Germany. And we don't just assemble, we put money to assemble German cars. Why should we do that? Why should we not manufacture our own car? Where is the market? Africa loves everything South African. They will buy from us. We produce a fighter jet. A fighter jet. If we can produce a flying machine, shouldn't be difficult to produce a car. Denel has demonstrated that we've got the capacity to do this. Denel manufactures army vehicles. And why are we not producing a car? It's trade agreements with Europe, with America, with UK, that you are not going to get involved in this. We use cell phones. My grandmother used to use a cell phone while busy with farming in small scale farming there. And I realized when the Gogos are now using cell phones that this is in demand. Why are we not looking at what is in demand in South Africa and produce it? And when we produce it, we grow our economy and we create jobs.
I don't know how I can say this issue that Africa with 1.3 billion people waiting matchsticks, waiting plates from China. This doesn't come in my mind, but Julius Malema said it in detail that sometimes our leaders, they contract that have a long-term plan, and that issue that the contract said is you can't create it on your own, so we'll bring it to you, then you assemble it. Even to assemble it, you have to pay money to assemble it. This is the problem. A continent with a full of timbers, waiting tables that we're using in our offices from China. This issue is not well in my mind. I can't believe that Africa with 1.3 billion people, we don't have innovators of creating these things. This is I not believe in that, because I remember last year he invented TV which powered by radio frequency. So you see how Africa we are very innovative, and those you see innovators abroad the continent, ideas are from Africa. But in our governments, once we see one who is innovating things, we take him to the court. Let us continue listening Julius Malema on the speech, also speaking about the borderless continent, the borderless Africa.